my friend, this is the first fucking, or is it this? Yep, this is the first fucking pod. We're not specifically talking about football.
It's over,
That's it.
but it's okay. The sports world continues on, and there's been a lot of fun shit that happened over the last week.
Yep. So this is now the off-season UFA. So UFA is going to just be known as UFA right now because we're not really doing much on the fantasy side of things. Sorry. We're still trying to figure out how to play fantasy basketball, and we're figuring out we're actually not good at it. Um, which is funny, by the way, because I'm not good at it. I don't pay enough attention to be good at fantasy basketball.
I don't like the way we have our. I like the actual scoring rules, like what points a lot for how many fantasy points. What I do hate is, I believe we should switch to a system where the computer just takes their best result, their best game of the
I
week.
was trying to figure out how to do that because I hate the lock-in system, dude.
It's so gay, dude. I don't like it. I don't
I
have
don't
fucking
like it
time for that
either.
shit, dude. I don't have time to go on fucking sleeper for 30 minutes every day and figure this shit out.
It's fucking annoying. Anyway, yeah. So hopefully we'll figure out fantasy basketball. Maybe sleeper's not the best for that yet. Um, Meanwhile, we're gonna be a wrestling, basketball, and every other sport podcast. We'll still fit in our NFL news and stuff as it becomes relevant, but well, nothing's really relevant yet, except for, and we'll get to it later. Things that don't have anything to do with football. Um, but that's enough of that. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to. I really have been getting. I've been waiting to talk about it. We're getting into WWE first today, and it's fun. We're on go home week for Elimination Chamber. A lot has happened since last we've talked. I'm gonna go over it in chronological order. So we'll start with the SmackDown uh, last week, and then Raw. But a lot of setting up. Basically, a lot of setting up happened in the WWE, and it was fun setting up. There was some fun moments. Um, and SmackDown. Let's get to the results. Hold on, let me pull up the fucking results here because I had all my little notes all prettied up. Um, this is, by the way, going to be the if you guys don't watch WWE programming regularly, but you want to keep it, followed somewhat. Don't worry, we got you. I don't understand why you would want to watch our show over the WWE programming, but if you're that kind of person, we got you. But all right, so let's get into the SmackDown. I think we led off with Kevin Owens defeating Dominic Mysterio with a pop-up power bomb so that he could qualify for the Elimination Chamber. So he's in. Nothing really wild happens there. Right after, McIntyre and LA Knight go into a promo where, LA Knight tells McIntyre to stop crying like a little bitch. Um, Calls him old. And they get into a little scuffle, a little scuffruffy behind stage, acting like little blah blahs. A whole bunch of nothing, just talking serious. Uh, then after that, we finally get to see Tiffany Stratton wrestle a match in SmackDown. And by the way, I really like the way that that woman looks in the ring. She's fun to watch. Her character is going to be really fun in the most annoying fucking way. I'm just letting you know that right off of the bat. Tiffany Stratton's going to completely annoy the shit out of everybody, and it's going to be the most awesome fucking thing possible. I can already see it coming. Um, she defeated Zelina Vega with her moonsault. She's calling that the prettiest moonsault ever. So as you can
I
see, she
disagree. I think
she
Ivar has the prettiest moonsault ever.
nah, bro. What about Kidman? Kidman's got the
No,
prettiest
I'm
moonsault.
sorry. Watching a fucking 800 pound dude moonsault is the prettiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. By the way, Kidman's moonsault was notoriously shitty. Like the most, it was like the ugliest moonsault ever. By the
Brutal.
way, but no, yeah, that fucking Ivar guy. Um. Anyway, she gets into the elimination chamber, so she's going in, which is really fucking cool that she like just started and she's already in elimination chamber, but Jade Cargill isn't. Um, I think after that, Carl Anderson and AJ Styles get into it backstage. It's emo AJ Styles sitting in a locker closet thingy, whatever, where they put their bullshit, looking all emo and 2006 fucking Bring Me the Horizon fucking uh, music video type shit, just sulking. And then his like little crew comes around, and he slaps the fucking shit out of the. It was the funniest shit in the world because it was like all of the lead up to this, they were all like fucking talking all normal. Oh, hey, what's going on? And then this guy just dog shit slaps the fuck out of Carl Anderson, and I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. Um, and then it leads to nothing. They go, "What are you gonna do about it?" And then he walks away. So at least all he did that for was to make AJ Styles look emo, and then dog shit slap the fuck out of his homeboy. I don't understand the point of that. Not 100% following what's going on with that, but okay, whatever. It was funny. Um, have you seen these authors of pain guys? The guys that are going up with carrying a cross yet?
No, and I gotta get better at watching the SmackDown replays. I'm not able to watch SmackDown live.
Well, it's
It's
when you
tough.
do, pay attention to that because that little faction will carry a cross. He's like building a little fucking 5-6 person faction. It's gonna look awesome. They already look brutal. But these guys come out here. They completely squashed the shit out of. I don't even know who the fuck the people they were wrestling were. Their names were Javier Bernal and Bo Morris, and the only thing we knew about Bo Morris is that he kind of looked like Post Malone, according to one of the announcers. That was it.
Yeah, that's my problem right now of like just getting back into things. I've always like followed it on social media, so I know a lot of the people, but I don't know most of these fucking people, so I assume they all suck
Well,
until proven otherwise.
I think these AOP guys are fucking new, because they're just getting introduced to the SmackDown ilk, I guess, because I haven't seen them much of them yet. I've seen them in run-ins with Karrion Kross, but the way they made them look was like a tag team of Goldbergs. Like they came in and absolutely fucked like wiped the floor out of these two dudes that we had no idea who they were. They were total jobbers, and it was over in like 30 seconds. They just like beat the fuck out of them. So it was like it wasn't just Goldberg. It was a tag team of Goldbergs. It was fucking interesting to watch. Um, I don't know what the fuck that was. I think that was just to introduce them. I'm guessing because there was no other point to that. But fucking, I have to admit that Paul Elrig looks fucking cool. He looks old as fuck, but it's nice to know that he's still alive and he's still kicking it, and he still looks good in a leather jacket at like 80 years old. Paul Elrig comes out bald as fuck in a leather, just still fucking rocking the leather that he still rocked back in the 90s when he was with the Road Warriors and the Baldies. Dude, I'm so glad that he's still alive because I totally thought he died. I hadn't seen him in forever. And then he starts popping up with these guys, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, Elrig's still around. Yes! I'm sorry, I marked out. I'm just really happy that he's around. Logan Paul defeated The Miz. He's going for the Elimination Chamber. It wasn't really special. Naomi defeated Alba Fire using a submission that looked really fucking cool. qualified for Elimination Chamber, so she's in. There was some shit backstage with Dakota Kai and Bailey where it was like Bailey, Dakota Kai was asking Bailey for fucking help. That went absolutely nowhere. But it was basically a trust issue thingy, I guess, with those two. So there's gonna be more to that damage control thing, with Bailey and Dakota Kai. I'm hoping that leads to like a tag team for Elimination Chamber, but I don't know yet. Braun Breaker's a part of SmackDown. We figured that one out, which I kind of saw that coming. But all of this was just filler. The whole point of this fucking show was literally the last like 5 minutes. The entire and filling up the Elimination Chamber. That was it. The entire point of this show was for The Rock to come out and join the Bloodline, and he does the whole. First off, it's fucking the way he does it is he still has it on the mic. It's still there. So he comes out, he fucking Hollywood rocks the whole shit. He even does a little callback to the sing along with The Rock thing that he did in the 90s. But what I found funny about the whole fucking thing was he was still telling people to shut the fuck up, or he was gonna slap the herpes out their mouth. And I was like, yes, he's back. We're doing herpes out the mouth again. But all this was great. The mic was great. He comes out, he does the whole fucking, can you smell what the Bloodline's cooking? He joins the Bloodline, and then he had one job. This was he had one fucking job. The Rock does the whole, he throws up a loser instead of the one like everybody else. So the whole photo that they have, and whenever they put like Bloodline on a t-shirt, that whole picture is totally it's everybody else doing this and The Rock doing this like an idiot. So totally fucked that one up. Good job. But other than that, I'm just really happy that The Rock is back and he's back in heel form. I'm old and I'm still happy that happened. Either way. But yeah, all that he came out in that whole little promo. All he did was bitch about not having fucking the main event that he wanted, and he's gonna fuck over Cody Rhodes any chance he gets at the fucking at WrestleMania. And it was just a whole bunch of showboating and basically him going and joining Bloodline and showing off the Hollywood Rock, which was great. And he came out with the $500 shirt too. So like totally gimmicked the fuck up. So you have that to look forward to when you go to review SmackDown. Not most of that fucking show was basically filler. It was the whole point of it was the last fucking 5 minutes where you get to hear Rock, be Rock, and join the Bloodline, and that was it. I'm sure the SmackDown coming up after this UFA will be a lot more of a consequence. But this episode felt like a lot of filler, so we didn't miss too much that we didn't already know was coming.
And I got a feeling. Do we know where this SmackDown is? Because if it's not in Australia, this SmackDown's gonna suck, and we're gonna learn absolutely nothing from it because there's no one of importance is gonna be there.
I don't even know. Well, I could go to WWE.com.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. SmackDown tickets.
Exactly. Shit. I don't see it. Oh, here we go.
They might have pre-recorded it.
Yeah, I think they did. Oh, well. Fuck. It searches by, like, that location. Yeah, I think they did. Or no, it is live, but maybe the tickets are sold out. Who knows? But they are in Perth, Washington on Thursday, and they're on Perth, Washington on Friday for Undertaker's show. So I would imagine that the SmackDown's there. Anywho, you want to get to this Raw?
Yeah, I watched this Raw, so I can actually talk about it.
All right. All right. So right off the bat, we get Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes in a fucking match that takes like 2 commercial breaks to finish. All right, 2 commercial breaks and 2 run-ins to finish. Drew McIntyre wins off of Claymore. He gets help with he gets help from Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. In the whole thing, fucking and now Pat McAfee's like, "You hypocrite!" Fuck. Which, by the way, I'm so again. I'm not gonna say this enough, and I'm gonna say it all fucking off season. I am so happy Pat McAfee is calling WWE again. He is so necessary for everything. But he was like, "You hypocrite," and then yeah, so everybody calls him a hypocrite. He doesn't seem fucking bothered by it. He goes backstage. They call him out on it. He's like, "Nah, fuck it. I don't care. I don't think I'm a hypocrite. I think I'm doing what's necessary." So Drew McIntyre's full asshole right now.
Dude, so I turned in like a little late. So I was just getting home. Which, like, by the way, why would you start with this match? I'm just getting home, you fucking assholes. And then I turn on my TV. I'm watching the old WWE Raw, and the first thing I fucking see is a guy with a hoodie come up and fuck up a match. And I was like, dude, this is the same shit why I stopped fucking watching you guys for 5 fucking years. God damn it. Why are we doing this shit again? So they had to reel me back in here because that really fucking pissed me off. I was like, God damn it. The same fucking gimmick. Right. Guy with a hoodie.
Well,
guy with a hoodie trying to wet willy someone with his thumb.
I think it's all just to sound like, hey, you know this is coming, right? But whatever. Either way, so that, by the way, that happens, and they bring out the teleprompter for the fucking the replay, so you get Pat McAfee fucking. Here's where he was staring. He fucking spiked him. I was like, bro, Jesus Christ. This is great TV, by the way. So after that, we get a big old Royal Rumble. It's a women's Royal Rumble to decide the open slot of the Elimination Chamber.
Can I mention something that happened in between these matches real quick?
Right.
So, Michael Cole is talking about the new WWE experience thing that you can go to in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and he tells millions of people on TV to go check out the WWE experience in Baghdad, Iraq.
They're flocking out the door for that, bro. Go to Baghdad. What the
like, dude, if they even showed like a cardboard cutout of like 3/4 of the women in the WWE, you get fucking murdered, dude.
No, there's no fucking way. What? First off, why are you adverting that to people here? Advert that to like people that could go.
Well, there's a lot of people in Saudi Arabia. They're pretty big on WWE.
Yeah,
but you know, it's actually
no problem.
What's worse is like if you look at a map of Saudi Arabia, and because people are, you know, obviously in Saudi Arabia watching Monday Night Raw, dude, Saudi Arabia is fucking bordered with Iraq, so like there could have been people in Saudi Arabia. They're like, oh shit, mom, can we go to Baghdad this weekend? We can go fucking check out the WWE experience.
Why the fuck would would you want to go there? Order it online. Oh shit! All right. No, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to imagine thousands of American children trying to tell their fucking parents they need to go to Baghdad. And all their parents have like fucking flashback memories of 2006, and they go, no, way. Why the fuck would you want to go there? Why are they doing anything there? Parents calling WWE. Why are you trying to sell our kids to Iraq? Oh, okay. All right. So they have a big old Royal Rumble, and it's for the last Elimination Chamber slot. Comes down to Michin, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Raquel Rodriguez, right? Shayna and Zoe, I guess, are a tag team, so they've been fucking everybody over, and they do the same thing to Michin, so they throw her out. But Raquel Rodriguez, which is fucking a big old woman, fucks both of them up like completely, tosses them, wins the match. But before the match wins, Chelsea Green comes out from under the I guess the ring, because she faked being eliminated earlier, and jumps on Raquel, and Raquel literally throws her like a football. It was the funniest looking shit. But all right, so
I like me learning about all these characters because like I knew some of the women, like I know Becky and Bianca. No clue who Raquel Rodriguez was, but the crowd popped for her, so I'm like, oh,
She
seems awesome. Okay, cool. Mexican China comes out, and then like I'm like learning about this like Chelsea Green chick, and I'm like, her whole gimmick is just being dumb. Like that's the only time I see her. It's like, her whole thing is like, I'm retarded.
she's the Karen. She's the
Yeah.
Karen of the WWE, dude. Except Tiffany Stratton's about to come and completely change that whole shit.
Yeah.
Tiffany's coming to not just step on the toes. She's about to cut the foot off. Like, because she's good at it. But either way. So, we get Raquel going into the Elimination Chamber for the final for the final slot. Goes to this stupid shit afterwards with Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley talking in a remote interview, which, by the way, why the fuck are we still doing these?
It's so dumb. It was such a bad promo. It's so cringy. You learn nothing. It's just like this PG Yo Mama Jokes-esque nonsense.
It was bad. I didn't like it. There's no reason to do it. There was a better way to waste our 5 minutes than that. But either way, so after this, I would like to inform you, welcome now to the age of UFC callouts and WWE programming. We are here now. So we get Michael Chandler given airtime in a wrestling show to call out a currently retired Conor McGregor. Which I'm guessing is going to be a trend going forward. Like, I'm guessing we're going to start plugging in UFC guys in the WWE fucking crowds and having them call out people. But why did we start with retired Conor McGregor?
Well, we'll spill over into UFC. We'll talk about UFC a little later. But some context, they had just had a UFC card in Anaheim a night or two before this, so everyone was already in town. So it made it really easy for them. Second, they've been teasing Chandler versus McGregor for like a year now, so this has been going on for quite some time.
So
they were, yeah, exactly, and I'm just a big fan of it. I love Michael Chandler. He's one of the only people in the UFC that could whoop that ass. I feel very confident in picking Michael Chandler in that fight, and could like stand and shit talk with Connor. He is hilarious. He's someone I honestly think would do really well in a Ronda Rousey esque role in WWE.
That's sick. Okay. All right. So there was a little bit of point to it. But I feel like that's still going to be a trend going forward. We're going to put UFC guys in, have them do call outs. It makes sense. I don't know why we weren't doing it before. But, so after that, we get this really giant, really weird promo that starts with Becky Lynch and in the ring. And basically everybody involved with the elimination comes out one by one, says a few lines of shit talk, and they get to the next person. Basically, they're all explaining on why they're going to win the Elimination Chamber match. Which, by the way, again, got a note here. Tiffany Stratton is fucking annoying in the best way possible. Throughout this whole promo, I think Tiffany Stratton steals it. I don't know if I'm just like a super mark for the new girl, but the character I can already, because the character in real life, I know the character in real life, and I fucking absolutely hate the person in real life that she's portraying. Like the type of person that in real life.
She's Boca Raton personified.
Yo, fucking for real, dude. It's just like, you're so perfect at being this. Like when first off, when she came out, it's Tiffy time, and I was just like, oh Lord Jesus fucking Christ. That brought me back to just last week when I was kicking somebody out of the fucking smoke shop. Like it's so fucking common down here in South Florida, bro. That personality type. She fucking knows it.
She's like half of the people I dated in my teens and early 20s.
I gotta know something now, because this is, I don't watch a whole ton, and I know she came from NXT. I don't watch a whole ton of NXT. I'm trying to, but it lands on Tuesday nights. But I'm just learning about Stratton now, trying to figure out. Hold on, I want to see where she comes from, because if she comes from Florida, nope, Minnesota.
Weird.
That is weird. How you must know Floridians? There's no way. But yeah.
Well, she was in NXT. If she was in NXT for a while, that means that she was living in Orlando for quite some time.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go. There you go. All you gotta do is Tom Brady fucking proved that. All you gotta do is spend some time here. Well, shit, you'll see it in Baker Mayfield soon. Baker Mayfield's got a whole other thing going on.
I feel like he was already pretty Floridified before even coming. For being honest.
Anyway, so Tiffany.
This whole promo was weird.
Yeah, Tiffany and Bianca Belair start going at talking shit regarding Tiffany being green. Then a brawl breaks out. Liv Morgan, I think, is the one who starts the brawl. I'm not 100% on that one. But Nia Jax comes out and basically wastes everybody.
That's what I love about this is like it's a whole promo about everyone in the Elimination Chamber and someone who has nothing to do with this match at all. It just comes in. I love her. Her style is just like, and I'm gonna try to be remotely nice here.
I sit on people. I'm a big old bitch and I sit on people.
She's like the fucking millennial woman version of Rikishi. Like her whole deal is I'm gonna use my big ass.
I'm a big old bitch and I said that's how she ended like 4 people. They're trying to get in the ring. Pop! Like fucking Mario ZA just ground pound with the ass. Just
and that's a lot of these girls too. There's a lot. I've noticed that women's wrestling right now. There's a lot of using the ass as a battering ram.
just fucking. Just like,
Which I'm kind of mad she's not in the Elimination Chamber because like the old spot of like they go outside the Elimination Chamber and someone's like leaning up on the glass and you spear them through it. Like I want to see her use her ass to break through the fucking glass.
just so Nia fucking completely went. The whole promo, by the way, is weird. I'm just gonna say that off rip before Nia even comes out. It's all awkward, and it's awkward because there's too many people involved in the promo. It's just one after another after a rapid fire of more. You heard more entrance music than you heard people on the microphone until Bianca Belair came out, and it was monotonous. It was, but I understood why we're doing it, but there was a better way of executing than throwing everybody in the fucking ring and just saying, draw me money, you know. And then to have Nia come out and just say, hey, by the way, everybody in the Elimination Chamber, weak as fuck. Here you go. I'm going to sit on half of them and kill them. What happened after? Okay, so after that, we finally get to see, which, by the way, she just squashes everybody and leaves, Nia Jax. She just, no, I sit on everybody, fuck everybody, and then I'm out. She doesn't say anything. She just says, ha ha ha, fuck you. After that, though, we finally get to see some good in-ring product. We on this show are insane fans of Ivar.
Fat people stand up. This is your guy.
Ivar is fucking awesome, bro. I don't know how you are that fucking big and move like a cruiserweight. I don't know how that is fucking even possible. How you are Rey Mysterioing all around the ring and you're fucking five. You are a Rikishi-sized Rey Mysterio, and I didn't think that was a fucking physical possibility. Gravity makes no sense at all. I feel like I have majorly underachieved as a fat person my whole life.
I feel like I want to put him in the NFL Combine, and why isn't he playing left tackle somewhere in the NFL?
Dude, with that footwork, you would think. Oh my god, that's a good point. I just don't understand how this man can move like I've never seen a man move in my life, bro. And I don't care that he lost this match. He lost this match. Chad Gable beats him with an ankle lock, which is
fucking great value brand Kurt Angle over here.
It's a total fucking Kurt Angle move. But no one cares. It's Ivar. We need Ivar in more matches where he's flying around like he's fucking Rey Mysterio. I need to see a lot more of that. I don't care that he's a Viking. I just need to see this fat man moonsault.
I couldn't believe that. Every single time I see him wrestle, he does more crazy shit. Because the first time I ever saw Ivar was the Royal Rumble this year. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Our chat was blowing up. Like, who's this fucking bat dude, bro? It was my biggest takeaway from the Royal Rumble. I didn't give a fuck that Cody won. I was like, dude, this fat guy's awesome. And then he's doing all this crazy shit in the match again. And then this motherfucker goes up to the top rope with his back facing the ring. And I'm like, oh, this will be a cool spot. Fucking Gable's going to run up and, like, suplex him off. And I'm like, and I noticed Chad Gable's not getting up. I'm like, ain't no fucking way, dude. This motherfucker clears like halfway through the ring. He goes like 6 feet in the air at like 350. He's not going to have a very long career, but it's going to be awesome.
No, but you know what? He's not going to have a long career, but he's going to have one of the most memorable ones. I've never seen a fat Jeff Hardy. I've never seen that shit, but if you get that man on a ladder and let him swanton bomb somebody, first off, you are fucking reckless. But second off, that's instant Hall of Fame. He wouldn't have to do anything else for the rest of his whole pro wrestling career. Just get Rikishi in to do one spot. Or let him do it on fucking Otis. Fucking land Otis in a fucking bed of fucking hay and let fucking Ivar Swanton bomb from Hell of a Cell. Call it a day. Let him have his fucking money in his bag for Hall of Fame. That dude, Jesus.
You better put him on the WrestleMania card. I need him at WrestleMania. I'll be pissed.
So, after
that was the best match of the night. It was.
It was. Although it's the main event was pretty decent too.
Yeah, it was. They didn't have a fucking fat dude doing moonsaults though.
No, they didn't. Gunther versus Jey Uso for Gunther's title, and oh boy, what a ride this was. First off, I just gotta say right now, Gunther is a fucking badass. I don't know how else better to put this, but when he there was a point in this match where he had Jey Uso up by like his neck or his shoulders. He picked Jey Uso up and he just fucking yells, just, "You're nothing! You'll never be nothing! You're never getting this title! Oos!" And I'm just going, dude, you are such a fucking Nazi. Oh my god. You are like, what? You should have been in Inglourious Bastards. You are the fucking Nazi, bro. Like, it just feels evil. It's the whole moment felt evil, and I was just like, God, you're German as fuck, and I love it. You Nazi motherfucker. Tell him some more. Oh, gee. And when he chops, bro, he means it, man. I think he legitimately in the back says, I'm gonna hurt somebody tonight. Jey Uso, I get to fucking chop Jey Uso. Oh yes. Let me practice. Come here. Oh yes. I'm gonna make fucking Jey wish he was never born. Like, dude, he chops like Ric Flair would fucking hate this guy. He and that's his like whole gimmick too. That's like, I think that's one of his finishers. Like, all of his wrestling moves have nothing to do with like wrestling technique, which is funny because he says like, "Oh, I'm a ring general, I'm a ring technician." No, dude, you're a brute. you just use this one hand and you floor people with it. Which I totally love. Don't get me wrong. But, so, let's get into the match. I'm tired of fucking gushing over Gunther. What a heel. So, Jey Uso does get some major amount of offense towards the end of the match. I'm just going to go to the finish of the match. We're getting to the finish of the match. Uso hits like 5 fucking spears on this guy. Like, it was like 2 in the ring, 2 outside the ring, 1 on the ring apron. He fucking lights this up like he's fucking playing in the Super Bowl, dude. Like he's fucking Joey Bosa or some shit. Like, he's just going at it. And he hits an Uso splash, like 2 or 3 times during all this at the end. They go to pin. He goes to pin. We get to 1. We get to 2. The bell starts ringing. And that fucking rat bastard fuck Jimmy Uso is sitting there with a fucking hoodie like a fucking cunt, ringing the bell like an asshole. Sorry. I'm mad at this.
Boo!
Distracts the referee, goes in, still gets his ass whooped. Fucking Jay tries to hit a 500th fucking Uso slash on Gunther. Gunther reverses it into a pin. Jay gets fucked over. Then fucking Jimmy comes and totally destroys him with like 300 Uso spears of his own. And we're all sitting here at the end of the night like, you rat bastard, Jimmy. You fuck. And dude, the match that these two are gonna have is gonna be amazing. Because fuck that guy. That's the one time that I felt like, alright, I'll let it slide. It's an old trope. It's fucking bullshit. I hate seeing it. But that was the one time where, alright, the black hoodie in the crowd was acceptable. Because I didn't see that one coming. I knew that he was going to lose. I just didn't know that. I thought Jimmy was distracted with other matters. But he found time. He found time to fuck his brother over. And I feel bad for him. Nose. Oh, and the whole thing, dude. Another thing to Gunther's shit talk. His usage of the word oos is so fucking mean. Like, he says that shit like it's a fucking insult. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Oos. You're never gonna be anything. Oos. Do you understand? Oos. And I'm like, oh, you're fucking, you Nazi fuck. You're amazing. So
it was like
yeah,
when someone like buddies you and when you hate them, like, yeah, buddy. Someone keeps calling you buddy.
he's so good at it too. But you know what? I knew some fuckery was happening, but I was expecting it from like the German tag team. Like, where the fuck was the Nazi, the other Nazis? I don't know what else to call them. But Kaiser and the other guy, just the couple of fucking Nazi bandwagoners.
The three Reich.
Yeah, the three right. What Imperium? No, fuck that. That's the third right or three right. The Reich of three. Either way, okay. So before we get to critiquing, here's what we know about Elimination Chamber. This is what we know right now before we go to the Go Home and SmackDown, because I'm sure more will be added to it. We're gonna get. Tell me if you like this name, because I don't like this name. The team of New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I'm not sure where they're going with that one.
Who the fuck are these guys?
Well, Pete Dunne was part of the Brawling Brutes. I don't know who the fuck Tyler Bate is. I know who Pete Dunne is. He was the long-haired midget in Brawling Brutes. I don't know what New Catch Republic fucking stands for. I have no idea. Is one of them check? I don't know. But anyway, they're going against Judgment Day for the Undisputed Tag Titles. So there's this match with this newly formed tag team, which fucking has a terrible name. And they're going up against Judgment Day, not the other tag teams that probably should have went against the Judgment Day. We're going with this particular one. Whatever. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the SmackDown World Heavyweight title. Or SmackDown Women's World Heavyweight title. Or World title, or whatever the fuck. I don't know if it's called Heavyweight. Either way, for the SmackDown Women's title, we're going to see Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. So that's fucking cool. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see Rhea Ripley completely fucking annihilate Nia Jax too. Then we get.
I hope she does. And that's her first time going back to Australia in WWE too. Home show for her for the first time.
That's why I think she will. They're not going to let her lose in Oz.
No, if she's gonna lose, it'll be at WrestleMania. She's got to defend at WrestleMania. They probably run this back, if I'm guessing, but who knows?
Nah, Becky.
They can't. Yeah.
Anyway, so Men's Elimination Chamber is as follows: Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, LA Knight. The women's is Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. So that's what we know. That's basically the wrestling recap. Who do you think's going to take that EC for the men's?
Um, let's just do process of elimination. It won't be Logan Paul. He'll have his own standalone match at WrestleMania, probably against Kevin Owens for that title. So
So it won't be Kevin Owens.
nope. Sorry, Randy Orton. Randy Orton doesn't need to get put over anymore. Don't see that happening. Neither would Bobby Lashley. So it's either going to be Drew or LA Knight
And
against Seth at WrestleMania.
with the way Drew has been pushed in the last couple of weeks, really think it might be Drew.
Yeah.
Um, which that would put Drew, I think, against Seth.
Yes, it would.
Then you got the women's elimination chamber, which that one's more up in the air because there's a couple of narratives there that could happen. I think it's going to be Becky, truthfully. But you have Liv Morgan on her revenge tour, and she wants Rhea Ripley's ass. So there's that. I can't count that one out. I don't think Naomi and fucking Tiffany are getting in because they just got here. Raquel Rodriguez is due. I just don't think she's getting it now. But she's due. So I know you're not totally up to date on Raquel. But Mexican China isn't an inaccurate description. She's a strong woman. She's very big. When you see her in the ring with the rest of the women, she towers over them. So, like, I think Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley are the only ones of the exception. And yeah, that's it. Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley. I don't know any other ones that are bigger. She's bigger than Ronda Rousey. She's bigger than Shayna Baszler. She's a big old woman. It's tough. Like, she can play in the WNBA. I think, or at least that's what she looks like when she's sitting next to other women. But yeah, so she's due. She's been around for a minute, and she's been like in that China-esque role where she like comes in and muscles people. She's always tag teamed with like the smallest girl. Like, she was Liv Morgan's tag team partner. So she's been doing the work. But I don't think it's happening right now. I think it's either Becky or Liv, and I really think it's going to be Becky.
What I think is going to be interesting at Elimination Chamber, well, the match is going to be really good because it's an international show and they always put out for them. But what I think is interesting is how they have the Grayson Waller effect show is happening, and Seth and Cody are going to be on the show, and I inevitably, I'm pretty sure Roman and Rock are going to show up. And so I think we'll finally start to figure out, because I'm struggling now to see where The Rock fits into everything, how he gets a match, because Seth is going to have to go against whoever wins Elimination Chamber. Cody is going to wrestle against Roman. So they got to figure out something to do with The Rock. And I don't know what. So I'm very interested to see.
I think The Rock is going to be involved in the Cody match.
Somehow. But I still think they could find a way to get him into a match.
It could be, but I think the Cody thing, he's got that. I think there's going to be a big shift. And you know what? So let's talk about that one, because there's been some theory And a lot of so I know I was making fun of The Rock earlier because he was doing the hand gesture wrong. What if that was on purpose? Because there's some theories out there that when we get to WrestleMania, The Rock's gonna fuck over Roman and not Cody, which that's doable. I don't I don't I don't 100% know how they're gonna do it yet, but I have a theory on how that could be. Do you remember when oh, look at this, we got some
Yeah, I agree. Fuck the bloodline.
Yeah, see, here we go. I'm on that same tip. When he said Cody will lose everything, he pointed at Roman. Peep it. Yeah, see, there is a couple theories out there that's one of them. But all right, so do you remember when The Rock was in Nation of the Domination?
Yes.
Do you remember what he did ultimately to Farouk?
Yeah, he fucked Farouk over pretty hard.
And he totally took the nation over.
And like when you think about it, like whenever they have these promos, he's like little brothering Roman the whole time. He's like, "Go stand over there, little brother." Like that ain't some fucking head of the table fucking behavior right there. Just getting little brothered every fucking night that you're on stage, never getting a word in about shit.
Also, since Dominic brought it up, I'm going to bring that up again. He said, here we go. There was one other thing that I noticed, and not a lot of people caught on to it, because I've seen the conversations. When you pull up the screenshot of that last frame of like the ones going up, the bloodline is on the right side of the screen in the ring. The Rock is in the center of the ring by himself, separated from the entirety of the bloodline. Positioning can be everything in writing. It could be nothing, it could be everything. So these could be honest mistakes. The Rock is old. He's not been around. He's joining a new crew. He fucked up the hand signal. But there's been people that are like, nah, wait a minute. This could be subliminal messaging.
I think so because like it would be one thing if it was like just this one time, but like no, it's been every fucking time. They've all been on stage together. It's all been about The Rock
Yep.
every time.
I would be deliciously satisfied if The Rock fucked Roman over and that's how Roman lost his title. And then that's how we get to the match that we wanted to see, which was the head of the table. And we would get a full year because the head of the table's got to be a WrestleMania thing. So we
Oh,
would
they'll
get
drag this shit the fuck out. Another year of fucking this
The
bullshit.
Rock,
Yeah,
another year of The Rock's mic work. What? Nah, I would be totally down for that. So there's that theory, and then there's the theory that they're insinuating that we bite on, which is, that The Rock is going to somehow get involved to screw Cody over. Which, if this was WWE writing, I mean, they are setting it up to make it look like that. They had Seth Rollins come out. Oh, I've got your back. Don't worry about it. So Cody's got one guy in his corner. And now The Rock comes out like, oh, I promise I'm going to fuck you over at WrestleMania. Like, they have us pointing in that direction where it's like, it's going to be a run-in fest. But what if that's what they want us to think?
I like them. I like The Rock to just go scorched earth and fuck everyone over. Like fuck Cody over, and then after Roman wins, he just beats the shit out of Roman.
It could be like that too. See, what's interesting about this whole thing with The Rock is he's He's not in this for a short time. He's bought into the company.
Yeah, they just gave him $30 million. So
Yeah. So we could see The Rock become a constant character in WWE. So this could potentially be one of those situations where Rock's like, you know what, fuck you both. I'm taking the belt and the head of the table and Dragoons. And you know what? I'm taking Paul Heyman too. And you know what? I'm firing Paul Heyman because I don't need Paul Heyman. How about that? Like, I could see that happening. The Rock big dicking everybody. Totally possible. But yeah, it's the WWE. That's basically the WWE in the nutshell for right now. I can't wait till we get to SmackDown because I know the SmackDown Go Home show is going to be pretty eventful. Rock's going to probably do some more Rock magic mic work, which I'm pretty happy about. All I know is that the product has gotten better. I can definitely say that it has been way entertaining the last couple of weeks to follow WWE. And I've had to follow it because now we're going to be talking about it on the podcast for off season. I'm following it. And I could say for sure not regretting the decision. It has been a great product so far. And I'm happy that The Rock is a part of it. Anyway, let's get to let's get to some NBA. I know you got some basketball going on.
I want to go do the NBA last. I want to get into the UFC because the UFC was way more entertaining this week. Fucking
All right,
NBA is in a dead period. Should actually
so
happen to UFC.
let me
Um,
bring up some UFC.
so I got
I'll
all the
bring
stats
I'll
for
bring up the
fights.
results, and then we can go. Do you want to go with? Do you want to go upside down, or you want to start with the main first?
Oh no, we'll go opposite.
All right. So Anthony Hernandez defeated Roman Kopylov. I hope I'm hitting that name right. Via submission in round two. It was 3 minutes 32 seconds into round two.
Yeah, this was a good fight. It was really even for the most part until Roman just he's really good on the ground. It was a bad spot. Um,
It was
Anthony, shit loss for him, but he's still young. He's 12-2. He'll have to fight some more, but I like where Roman's going. He's got a good future.
um. The next fight is now. I know I'm gonna fuck this name up. So sorry. Mirab Deval Ishvili. I don't know how I'm gonna pronounce
Everyone
that
just
name.
calls him Marab. Everyone just calls him by his
Marab.
first name. Yep.
Marab defeats Henry Cejudo. I hope that's the name of it because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
via decision. So that one went the distance.
Yeah, this was a sad fight. Henry Cejudo, former Olympic wrestling gold medalist, two-division UFC champion. This guy was super decorated. He retired. He had decided to come back and now has lost two fights in a row. And it's just really sad to see him keep losing. Um, he was very entertaining. Um, but he's just old now, and it sucks. When you look at like the stats on this fight, Marab fucked him up, dude. When we look at total strikes, Marab landed 167 total strikes to Henry Cejudo's 54
Oh
for
my god.
Cejudo. Yeah, so not a, he got his ass beat, son.
He beat the shit out of him. Fuck. What was that? 160 to 50 something? Like, no.
Yeah, and the more embarrassing part is like so Henry Cejudo is like an Olympic wrestler. He gets one takedown out of 7 attempts, and then Marab gets 5 takedowns out of 11 attempts. So not only
Oh
did he
my.
outstrike you, he took you to your own dojo and showed you up. Henry, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. UFC Hall of Famer. He just this is the sad reality of fighting. Is sometimes they don't know when to quit, and people forget how good they were because they see their last few fights and like this guy's washed, which is true. Cejudo's pretty washed now, but that doesn't change how fucking dominant he was. Hall of Famer. Speaking of Hall of Fame too, they put Wanderlei Silva into the Hall of Fame during this event.
Nice.
One of my favorite fighters growing up,
I love the
all
ass,
time
man.
badass. So fucking awesome.
Grade A shit talker.
Yes.
Grade A shit talker. Couldn't understand half of it. Grade A shit talker.
That's how you know it was good, son. Imagine if you knew fucking English, bro. The only time you met
uh,
his match was Chael Sonnen, but Chael Sonnen was
yeah,
the
that
best.
which is another grade A shit talker. And
He's
you could understand him.
he's the goat. Like, I understand people are like, oh, McGregor's so funny. Like, no, you guys weren't around for for the
No,
badass that was Chael Sonnen, dude. That shit was wild.
Chael Sonnen had the intellect. He didn't get enough concussions. He couldn't get to his head quick enough. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hey!
What's up, Spat?
What up? I finally
So,
made it.
Steve, you're just in time. We are
Oh.
finally getting to a very anticipated moment in this podcast. We have been talking about it in the chat this morning, and I couldn't wait to get to it. We are finally going to learn the legend of Ian Gary.
Oh god, Ian
Dun,
Gary.
dun, dun.
All right, so let's just start at the fight and work backwards.
I'm
He
getting a
fought
beer for this.
he fought Jeff Neal, which Jeff Neal is a badass. He's a knockout master. He did not get the finish against Jeff Neal, but most people don't, so that's not surprising. Um, but as far as strikes goes, he outstruck Jeff Neal 80-57. Um, had a little bit of control time. Jeff had most of the control time, though. Not really any takedowns in this fight at all. This was basically a kickboxing fight. Um, Ian is an extremely talented young fighter. This guy's going to compete for championships. He's 14-0. He's on a 7-fight win streak in the UFC. No one's beaten him in the UFC yet. So I wanted to bring this up before I absolutely shit all over Ian Gary.
Yes.
Come up here.
So
Go ahead.
I mean, there was the funny thing about him. He like called out Colby Covington and said a lot of very true things about Colby, about how like he's made it to 3 championship fights, never won any of them, and Colby is kind of in WWE terms a mid Carter. He's kind of a jobber. Um, I don't even know where the fuck to start with this. So Ian Gary has a wife, right? That's not a crazy statement. He has a wife. Now, Ian Gary is 26 years old. Ian Gary's wife is like 40 something years old.
Robbing the cradle.
So
What could go wrong?
it gets so much worse. So the wife is also like his manager, right? And she's had some interesting things online before meeting him about like wanting to fuck rich athletes, basically. And it gets so much worse.
And use
And
it in their role play in the bedroom.
100%. And Ian Gary, like most modern fighters, has a nutritionist who comes with him to the fights and helps him do weight cut and meal prep and all that shit. Most of these guys have that, right? And there's a lot of them, right? So you could hire a number of people to do this. For some reason, Ian Gary's nutritionist is also his wife's ex-husband.
What?
And the plot just thickened.
So,
What?
so when the MMA world
What can go wrong?
when the MMA world dug all this up, people were very quick to to shit talk Ian Gary, and it was it was none other than Sean Strickland. We all love him, the infamous Sean Strickland, who gave Ian his new nickname, which he has a nickname. He calls himself Ian the Future Gary, but no one calls him that. So Sean Strickland has given him his new nickname of Ian the Cuck Gary. And so after this fight takes place on Saturday, he's in the ring, celebrating with his 40-year-old wife. And and Joe Rogan's trying to interview him. And Joe Rogan's interviewing him and shit, and the whole stadium is just chanting, "Cuck, cuck, cuck, cuck." A whole stadium of people.
Oh my! Wow! Wow!
Thank God they don't let kids into these things, right?
We're going to see in the next few days. Ian Gary announces retirement.
No, dude.
Oh no!
No, you're
he's-
not.
No, you're not. He has completely, to his credit, he is completely WWE heel turned into this thing beautifully.
He fucking leans
So he's accepting the nickname.
I wouldn't
not
say he's
just
accepting the
accepting
nickname.
it, dude. He's leaned into this whole thing like he's Kurt Angled this whole fucking scenario, bro. Like he's accepted that the chants are happening, and he's going, yeah, fuck y'all. I'm still here winning fights by decision. Oh, fuck me, dude. Oh, that gets even better because the thing that I learned from him, because you didn't learn all this, I had to do a Google search on Ian Gary. Forgive me, I spend a lot of time on football. So when it's not football, I've got to depend on research and shit to kind of refresh my memory on things. And I didn't know shit about Ian Gary to begin with. So I looked it up, and all I could find was that he's wanting to fight the MAGA guy, Colby Covington. And there's this whole shit talk war about how him and Colby Covington need to fight, and Trump needs to be there, and if Trump was there, he'd fucking paint the floor with Colby Covington. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're going with this route. This makes it so much better, though, because now the Colby Covington seems like this just big swerve, like an attempt to turn face at a later time.
Well, kind of, but here's the thing: like UFC fans are based as fuck, and like when Trump goes to the UFC events, he gets standing ovations. So quite the opposite. He is completely heel turned. But this is the best thing he could have done because Colby Covington right now, I think he's like number 5th ranked. So if he can beat Colby, he's got a real shot at the title.
I totally believe that fucking UFC fans are Trump supporters because fucking Trump and the UFC have
They go way back. Trump rented out one of his casino ballrooms for like some of the first ever UFC fights, so they go way back.
I remember Donald and Dana go way back in particular too.
Yeah, they it's actually pretty because they were having problems trying to find venues when they were young, so it's pretty safe to say that the UFC does not exist as it does today without Trump giving them a shot.
I think that's why, because I remember a while ago when one of these elections happened, Dana fucking spoke to the Republican whatever the fuck they were doing. But it was a Republican get together, and he spoke about it. He went on this whole like 10-minute fucking soliloquy on how Donald Trump was responsible for the UFC existing, basically, or
I just
continuing
love
to exist after the fucking 90s, rather.
I just love the UFC. This shit's always so funny. It's so fucking great. The shit talk
Yeah, it is.
from the fighters to the fighters, it is incredible. But moving on from Ian, the Cuck Gary, we so you have your controversial fight of the night, which I didn't find controversial, but the Twitter did.
Robert Whittaker defeated
Yep.
Paulo Costa via decision.
Yeah, so we've been waiting on Costa to fight, or Costa rather, to fight for a while now. He's been out with an injury, kind of a fan favorite type of guy. Same with Robert Whittaker though. There's not really a big rooting favorite, I'd say, as far as the fans' hearts go here. A lot of people were mad about this decision. So because Paulo Costa had quite a few very significant shots on Robert Whittaker, where Robert looked dazed, he looked like he might go down, but he didn't. And unfortunately, he didn't finish the job, and then ending up with Robert Whittaker outstriking Paulo Costa 95-67, and really fucked him up on the scorecard. So a lot of people are mad about it because they see the big shots and they think that whoever landed that one or two crazy shots should win the fight. That's not how it works if you can't finish. So a lot of people were upset about it, but I don't see any point being mad about it. But the main event.
Let's talk about this knockout, bro.
Yeah, this was a good fight.
So
Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilya Tapora. Leading up, this is a funny backstory too. So leading up to the fight, Tapora, he's a good shit talker. English is not his first language. He's from Spain, so he does his best. But he was shit talking Volkanovski. He's like, you're the old man, I'm the up and coming guy, and that's just how fighting works. Just like how we talked about with Henry Cejudo, time's gonna catch up to you, and some young dude's gonna fuck you up. And I give Volk credit for trying to be entertaining, but looking back on it, does not age well that he started dressing like an old man and wearing old man style shit the whole lead up to the fight, and eventually got knocked the fuck out by the young guy.
And that was a nice piece.
Yeah, and the crazy part about this fight is, Alex really dominated the whole fight up until the knockout. He was up like 10 significant strikes. They didn't score the takedown, but he did kind of have a takedown. He fucked him up on his leg. He had like 15 leg kicks, 21 shots to the head, like 47 total strikes. 36. So congratulations to Spain, first ever Spanish UFC champion. So that's fun for them. I do think this should be a rematch, though. I think if we ran this fight, pretty good shot. So I'd be excited for it. But that was basically UFC 298. 299 is coming up. It's going to be a good card in Miami, actually, at the previously known crypto scam arena.
It's true, though. The most Miami thing ever, falling for a crypto scam.
Yes. Which would be good. O'Malley versus Vera, so there's a lot of good fights. We'll get into it before the card. It's about a month out, so.
O'Malley's still on one loss, right?
Yes. Still on one loss. He's fighting against Marlon Vera, who's a lot more experienced than him. Similar record, but
O'Malley gonna clean him.
I don't
Look,
know.
yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I will say, like, O'Malley is just one of those guys that, you know, how you get a lot of those guys that come into UFC, they talk a lot of shit going into the fight, and they say, hey, I'm going to do this in the fight, and then they never do it. Well, O'Malley is not that kind of guy. Like, from a lot of things I've seen, he'll say, hey, I'm going to do this to this guy, and he fucking delivers. He says, hey, I'm going to knock this guy out in the third round with a right hook. He's going to knock the guy out in the third round with a right hook.
So let me ask this: how plausible do you think that Conor McGregor fight is?
Very. 95%.
Who's he calling out? Or who's calling him out?
No, it was him getting called out.
Look, so when you come back to fight in the UFC, you have to get back into the USADA testing pool for steroids, which is like a telltale sign if someone's going to fight or not, because why would you get put back into the drug testing pool if you're not going to fight? So Connor's been back in the drug testing pool for about 8 months now.
So, Steve, what you missed was we're in an era now where WWE is going to start airing UFC call-outs, like basically on what was it, Raw or SmackDown?
Raw. That was Raw.
Okay, so on Raw, Michael Chandler was given airtime to call out Conor McGregor to a fight. So that's where that came from. So because
I mean, it's very fitting that's happening though. It's very fitting that's happening though when you consider that some of the guys in WWE have gone to UFC, and then there's people from UFC have gone to WWE.
Nah,
you
dude,
know?
you know what it really is that they're both owned by the same company.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's still very fitting because you do watch, the crossover. It's like the WWE to the NFL. You watched like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar go from football to fucking WWE and vice versa and shit. And even though I think some people would say that Brock Lesnar's time was quite forgettable, but
real quick point about Marlon Vera versus Sean O'Malley, because I know Sean is 17-1 right now. Would you guys want to venture to guess who Sean's one loss was to? It was to Marlon Vera. So that's why I was saying, I don't know.
So it's a full rematch.
Yes.
And there's no other fights where O'Malley's
Nah, man, Sean O'Malley gonna fuck him up. Fuck that. I'm in Sean O'Malley's corner. I have no education to back that opinion other than I've seen Sean O'Malley and he fucking kicks ass. That's it. That's all. That's not a very informed opinion, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Seems a little biased.
Yeah, no, it's extremely biased.
I guarantee you,
we're supposed to deliver the
all of this
opinion.
all of this is based on Pat McAfee show interviews.
But that's not true. I've seen him fight.
We don't have our own opinions. We get them from other places and make you think it's ours.
That's not 100% true. I've seen...
Not 100%. 98%.
I've seen him fight like a few times, and I've rooted against the man. Like in a couple of those fights, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" I remember when I liked Sean O'Malley. It was after I rooted against him. It was, I forget who he was fighting, but I was just like, "Who the fuck is this guy, bro? He's getting fucking rocked. He's not making it out the second round." And I was so fucking wrong. Bro, this guy fucking came out the gate and cleaned this dude. And I was just like, "Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm sorry. Sir, I apologize. I did not recognize your game." And I was like, fuck. Yeah, nah. Sean will get it. When did Sean lose that fight? What was his record when he lost that fight?
I think it was last year or the year before.
This was back in 2020. It was kind of like people think it was a controversial fight. It really wasn't. It's because Sean O'Malley bitched up a storm afterwards about why he didn't really lose. It was because Marlon Vera kicked the shit out of his leg and fucked his leg up, which is like a thing you should do in fighting. Fucked Sean's leg up.
That's what fucking homeboy did that got the knockout because he spent the
Yeah,
first
so
fucking couple rounds chopping the
he
tree.
he fucked his leg up. Sean O'Malley stumbles backwards, falls on the ground, and Marlon Vera keeps elbowing the shit out of him and knocks him out. So, I mean, I get it that, Sean O'Malley was butthurt about it, but
That's
Marlon
fighting, baby.
beat his ass.
That's MMA, baby.
Yeah.
Get your shin stronger. What the fuck?
He didn't kick you in the balls. You can't complain.
Yeah. But what was his record back then? Well, if you had, if
He
you
was
said it was 24,
undefeated
that was
at that
4 years
point.
ago.
I think Sean was still pretty young in the UFC. Sean is still a young fighter.
All right, so he's got a couple more wins under his belt. He's been in the UFC for a little longer. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
I'm doing this on basically no homework on his opponent, by the way. I have no idea who that other guy is. Watch him be some like fucking bruiser and Sean. It's like Sean's kryptonite, and I'm just talking shit.
Dude,
Well, it wouldn't be. They would have to still be the same weight class.
That don't
he's
mean nothing.
got he's tied for a few records that would not be good. If you root for Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera is tied for second most wins in his division's history, and for second most knockouts in his division. So he's been around for a long time, and third most submission. So he gets it done in all sorts of ways. He's fucked up a lot of people.
Awesome. By the way, podcast. This is basically what the off season is going to look like. How we're like totally very educated on football. I am not educated on UFC. He's our UFC. Brendan's our UFC guy. All right. I know NBA to the extent of I love the Heat, and I'm fucking obsessed with wrestling. So I'm the WWE guy. But that's basically when we talk about UFC, I'm a total fucking mark. If you want an informed opinion, just wait for the extender to start talking. He's gonna give us an informed opinion and extend this show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I kind of do know like what I'm talking about UFC. I've been following fighting since I was in like the 8th grade, and
I follow
trained
just
a little
not to the
bit,
extent
so
that I know everything.
I watch every pay-per-view and some of the fight nights.
I know I follow to the extent of like a big fight night, like oh, this guy's fighting this guy. Oh, well, I know I want to see that. Like and it happens only so often. I gotta follow better on you, which this podcast will make me follow better on UFC. All right, so before we get into NBA, I guess we'll cover the brief amount of NFL news that we have, which basically has nothing to do with football. Well, there's one thing that kind of has something to do with football.
I was going to say probably the next big episode on the NFL is probably going to be the draft.
Well, free agency.
Yeah, that too. Free agency, and that's coming around the corner. Before I get into any blood and guts, college football playoff has decreased the number of spots reserved for conference champions from 6 to 5. This move to decrease the number of spots reserved for the conference champions from 6 to 5 was prompted by realignment and the disassembling of the Pac-12. So I'm guessing that means the Pac-12 just doesn't fucking exist anymore.
Yeah, don't get me fucking started on realignment, bro. God damn, I'm not even gonna get started. Some bullshit.
So, well, I have to get you started. That was the end of the headline.
They're ruining college football. College football, as we all know it, is dead. We're just fucking turn it into one big conference. If this is what we're gonna do, just make it one big fucking conference.
It seems like kind of like the NFL, but not right because there's what there's going to be 12 playoff teams this year instead of what was it 4?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big leap.
It is, and like there's gonna be eventually we'll get some cool Cinderella story out of it, but it's like the same way where I was against when the fucking NFL expanded their playoffs, which I'm glad for it. I think expanding the playoffs was the right move, but not the fucking 12 teams. They're gonna have a lot of dumb games.
Yeah,
This is
4
just
to
like
12 is crazy.
when they added the extra wild card teams in the NFL. Like, none of those teams are ever gonna fucking do anything. This is just an excuse to make more money so people can charge money for fucking playoff tickets. That's all this shit is.
Which means first week of the playoffs is going to be blowout week.
You would think that like there would be steps to that, like 4 to 8, maybe 4 to 6, then 6 to 8, then 8 to 12. They like skip. It feels like they just skipped like 5 steps before they went to 12 teams. They would just went 4 to 12 teams, fuck it. And then they kill a conference in doing that. So there is, what is that, 5 to 7? That's 5 conference champions that go in. And then I guess that's seven of the other teams that aren't conference champions. That's a lot of potential for what you just said. Blowout city.
Yep.
Wild.
A lot of lopsided matching right there.
All right, so Jimmy G's been suspended for 2 games for violating the NFL's PED policy.
Imagine how bad he'd be without steroids.
Well, we're gonna find out eventually. Well,
it's crazy to me that a guy like him
not because I don't. He goes on the market. Don't the Raiders said they were gonna cut him.
Yeah.
So maybe he just doesn't play.
He'll be a backup because no one's gonna. Because the only teams that would have actually started him would be like the first 3 teams in the draft who needed someone to start after they drafted a rookie for the first couple games. And now we can't even fucking do that, so...
Jimmy G to Miami.
Man, you went from being the freaking backup to Brady to looking like you had potential to what the hell is your career going down the toilet for?
Jimmy G to Miami for fucking... For a bag of peanuts and the fact that you're going to work on your tan before retirement. Dead ass, bro. Then Tua's got a decent quarterback backup. Then fucking Tua can stop playing like an ass, a bitch, and fucking. We can use him like an actual quarterback instead of fucking hiding him in the pocket so that no one can fucking give him another concussion. Because we'll have a backup that can actually run the offense half decently. Yeah, dude. Jimmy G for a bag of peanuts, a box of calamari, a fishing rod, and the chance to work on his suntan. Fucking run it, bro. What are we doing? He's only suspended for 2 games. What can go wrong in 2 games? Let me knock on wood right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you better go knock on some fucking wood.
Oh,
but speaking of Miami, was there any word on track signing?
On who?
Has anything come out
Tua?
about that yet? Yeah.
No, the only things that have come out are just that they're gonna get it done. It's very anticlimactic unless you're an actual Dolphins fan that sits there in the Facebook groups and goes fucking, oh, and I'm gonna, yes, I can steal it from The Rock, yes. No, we shouldn't sign Tua to a contract extension. We're in cap house. Yeah, he's not the quarterback. Like they're gonna get it done. Unless you're one of those guys, it's pretty anticlimactic. Like we all.
I don't understand the fucking like, dude. I don't get the people who are like, oh, don't do it. I'm like, okay, then do what? What's the other option? Who you
No,
getting?
Right.
Jimmy G. Jimmy G was the other. That's been the guy that has been floating around in these groups. Sign Jimmy G. Sign Kirk Cousins.
Well, they don't got Kirk Cousins, which is crazy. That sentence is a real thing, saying you don't have Kirk Cousins money and saying that seriously. Because I don't know, whoever the fuck Kirk Cousins' agent is the best agent of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun though to watch Miami people freak out about because here's what's gonna happen, and they're two completely unrelated things, but they're gonna make them related because that's what Miami fans do. So they're gonna sign to like a 4 year deal, right? And then they're gonna lose Christian Wilkins because someone's gonna throw an absolute fucking bag at him.
Well, that's a
And
possibility. Yeah.
it's
That's a
highly
possibility.
possible. I actually see it's more likely than I think possible. Um, and people are gonna think those two things are directly correlated, and it's gonna be really funny.
Yes, it will be. The only thing that I think saves that whole thing is that they do rework Tua and then throw the bag at Christian, because I do know that Christian is the number one priority in that front office, not Tua. They know Tua's a done deal. Christian is the priority in that front office, so they're going to do a lot to convince him to stay. I know that's probably going to cost a lot of people their jobs. I know X is probably not staying. If Eli Apple stays, that's going to be a crime against humanity. So he's fucking gone.
Is Wilkins an
AV,
unrestricted free agent?
no, no, I think he is actually.
That's bad for Miami.
Yeah, no, it is. It's terrible. Like Miami's gonna have to sell a lot of people out. Plus, you got Vic Fangio over there talking about plucking AVG and Deshaun Elliott, which is a high probability there. They might let that happen.
And you
Um,
know what the team is that I think would sign Christian Wilkins, and it's gonna really, really piss Miami fans off. It's in the division.
the Patriots. He would go to the
Yeah,
Patriots, which again, it's a high possibility, but it wouldn't be without Miami trying to throw the same kind of bag at him. I think Miami's going to give up a lot to try to keep Christian Wilkins. That's the good that a lot of people are going to blame this on Tua and his
yep.
contract, and it's going to have nothing to do with that. Miami is going to try to sell the farm to keep Christian Wilkins, and it has nothing to do with Tua. That was going to happen regardless. So, but yeah, you're right. If he walks, it's probably going to be from a bag through New England. That was where I had him going if he's not a Dolphin,
And I think,
because they did that once before with Godshogs.
yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, let me look it up. I think he's from New England. Like I think he was born in Massachusetts.
That
Yes,
actually
I
might be
got it
right.
here on Google. Yeah, he was born in Springfield, so you got to think
He's a
he's got a lot of
Simpson.
family up there. So
He's a fucking Simpson. You know that makes actually perfect fucking sense
Yep.
with his personality.
Yep. Yeah,
But
dude, I
yeah,
love the mic'd up moments from him, dude. They're fucking hilarious.
a lot to be determined with there. But there's Christian Wilkins is gonna be that's probably the story of the entire free agency is where he's what's gonna happen with him.
they
Is
can't afford to lose
Christian Wilkins? I know.
no, a combination of players. You can lose one of them, but you can't lose both. You can't lose both Robert Hunt and Christian Wilkins. They have to figure out how
I
to keep one of
I
them.
honestly don't think that they're keeping Robert Hunt. I'm gonna be dead honest with you, because
That's tough.
this is the second year in a row that he's been unavailable for most of the season. It's gonna be a real tough sell to this organization to keep Robert Hunt. And for the matter, I don't think Teron Armstead's staying either. I think Teron's gonna retire. Like, one thing that people were right about, we are going to lose some players. It's just not going to be. It's not going to be as big as you guys think. Like, we're gonna have Ramsey. We're gonna keep most of the offense, but yeah, Rob Hunt and Teron Armstead are fucking gone. We're gonna do. Those are cap casualties. X is a cap. Everybody that sat on IR for more than 3 weeks is a cap, or for more than 4 weeks is a cap casualty. That's the bottom line. So yeah, no, that I know that's tough, but that's reality. Rob Hunt, that for 2 years hasn't been on this roster in the latter part of the season, and when we're talking about trying to keep Christian Wilkins, and we're gonna have to throw him a bag. He's gonna be one of the first ones cut. And Teron Armstead retiring does us a big favor. And he's been talking about it. So yeah, dude, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in Miami. That the month of March is going to be interesting because that roster does look different, but I just don't think it's going to be the effect that everybody thinks it is. I don't think we're losing a lot of our starters, except for
They're not going to lose a lot of them.
Line.
They're going to lose key positions because I'm looking at it now on a cap website. In order to sign,
we're second in cap owed, or like
yeah.
We're like,
so in order to do Tua and Wilkins and to get right on the cap, they're looking at clearing like $80 million to get all that done. That's a lot.
X, Hunt, Teron, AVG. I feel like AVG is a trade prospect. I feel like AVG is getting traded out. Jerome Baker. Deshaun Elliott. Because that's another one that Fangio liked. And the Dolphins are going to be up to giving these guys up. AVG especially, because I know, and I know that sounds like, damn, that's fucked up because I really like that guy. AVG was a backup, bro. Like, he was a great backup, but he was a backup. So he's trade fodder. The other thing that they have to consider is, do you rework Tyreek Hill? Can you?
Yeah, is Tyreek Hill willing to do that?
Can you convince Tyreek Hill to rework for a championship? That's another.
I would say, thinking of the kind of person that Tyreek is, he does have the best interest of that team in his mind. Seeing his Twitter,
yes,
I mean, look. I mean,
yes,
looking at the way he talks about that team on Twitter.
I know that, but actions speak louder than words. I don't know if you could say he has the best interest in mind of the team, and also
I don't know enough to make him want to take a pay cut.
And also want a gun for 2,000 yards in a season, because that totally fucking destroyed Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. Well, I know Waddle was also hurt a lot this season too.
Not a lot. He was hurt.
I feel like there were quite a few games that he was out though.
Yeah, and that's why you remember him, because they were important games. But Jalen Waddle played most of the season. You just don't notice it because he was. I know because I had him on fantasy teams. He just didn't have the stats because a lot of these plays were going to Tyreek.
I think that could have also been our hurting point in Miami too. You rest too much into one player, and opposing defenses pick up on that.
That's why Tua got called a Tyreek merchant, and that's why he looked lost when Tyreek wasn't on the field, because this entire team ran with Tyreek getting the ball.
Can't put your eggs all in one basket.
And look who's paying for that. Not Tyreek, McDaniel and Tua. McDaniel and Tua are paying for that. So I mean, I love Tyreek to death. I think he's a great football player. I don't know about a human being. He's got a bad track record. But as far as a football player, great fucking football player. But he's a wide receiver. Wide receivers are not known for being team players.
They get very egotistical. Some of them get very egotistical, and like they get the TO syndrome.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong because Tyreek Hill does say a lot like, damn, I feel like a little brother. I'm tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes fucking win a Super Bowl and I haven't yet.
I almost feel like that the only top receivers that didn't let their egos get the best of them, I want to say, were probably Randy Moss and Jerry Rice.
You can't add Randy Moss to that.
No.
That motherfucker faked mooned Green Bay. Like Randy Moss was the original ego, dude. Like that boy was the original. I'm gonna walk off the field before the game's over because I know we're fucked. Like they talk shit about him first.
I might be thinking too much into his era in New England because
exactly because you're
Randy
Moss in Minnesota.
But here's the thing: if we were guy. If we're remembering how Randy left New England, is Randy left New England over money.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that and he's old. He was old.
Yeah, and the Tyreek Hill thing. This was a man who seriously considered signing with the Jets. So it was clearly only about the money.
It is. No, he says it, dude. The thing about Tyreek Hill that and I've pointed this out to people that are like, oh, he's going to retire in a couple years just because he said it. Tyreek Hill's a fucking liar, bro. He is not a consistent person from one interview to another. Tyreek Hill tells one person one thing and then tells another person another thing and then says a third thing on his podcast. You know what I'm saying? So Tyreek Hill, I think, was the most honest when he literally said, like, yeah, I was thinking about New York. New York sounded nice, but then Miami offered me more money. Because I think that's what it boiled down to. It boiled down to who offered more, and Miami offered significantly more. We outbidded, but Tyreek Hill could have been a Jet. Imagine that reality. Tyreek Hill becomes a Jet, Aaron Rodgers becomes a Dolphin.
That's some great fan fiction.
I know, right? I mean, it wouldn't have. I'm kind of glad it happened in reverse. I don't know about great fan fiction. I would have fucking hated that reality. But, that's another thing we got to look forward to next fucking year is Aaron Rodgers.
Fucking 40-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles injury with a really shitty offensive line. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what can go wrong? Anyway, all right, so let's get to the blood and guts. 2 adults were charged with murder in the shooting at the Kansas City Super Bowl parade. This comes after 2 juveniles were charged last week on gun-related and resisting arrest charges, which they're expecting to charge them with even more things. But they have 2 adults for murder on that whole thing. So apparently what went down over there is a couple people got into an argument and just started blasting. Basically.
So to put this into context for you Florida people, let's say Miami Dolphins win the Super Bowl. Woohoo! We're going to have a parade. Now, if you were going to, pick the spots where the parade would go through and maybe even possibly end, and you had some choices, right? Maybe you would end the parade in like Biscayne Bay. You know, that's a nice little area. A lot of people could gather there. Always have major events.
Oh, the
Or
Heat Parade. What?
yeah, or you could end it in Hialeah. So, would you rather end your parade in a very nice, safe part of town, or a part where people shoot each other all the time? So the Chiefs basically did that. And we're going through the worst parts of Kansas City.
Okay. Okay. So, so good job, by the way. First off, totally Kansas City and very expected. Like, I'm not shocked. But secondly, did they not have weapons checks?
Oh
Like,
no,
how
you
was
can't.
this?
I don't think they did because it was an outside event, like anybody could walk through. I feel like when
Look,
you go to an
yeah,
event in Fort Lauderdale, you just easily walking down the street.
But they looked like there was entry gates.
to some places, as someone who's been to multiple Super Bowl or
Fuck.
slash championship parades,
Son of a bitch.
dude, there's like millions of people. There is no
You
way
know what? You're
you
right
could.
because I went to the 2006 Heat Parade and I remember that being basically a marathon walk.
Yeah, you gotta think, like, especially if you're setting up parades that are going on for miles and miles, like there's no way you're gonna set up a point where you have to check everybody going into it. It's gonna be a freestanding thing.
Jesus.
My thing is what possesses you? Or are you just that salty? Like they had to have been 49ers fans. Like, are you that salty that the Chiefs won and you just had to go and start a shit out?
Apparently these guys were die hard as fuck Chiefs fans. Because I remember reading and hearing that in a report. Like everybody involved in this incident was a like very hardcore Chiefs fan.
Yeah, as someone who lives in the area, I can guarantee you, ain't no one from San Francisco coming to the Midwest to fucking
Yeah.
Missouri and Kansas. I guarantee you, they're not coming here.
So what? But what blows my because we shit on Philly now. We go in on Philly, but I've never seen like Philly burns their own city when they win a championship because they definitely don't know how to act when they win things.
Oh hell no.
But I've never seen, mind you, this is like a week after the Super Bowl. People from their own fan bases kill each other in their most happiest moments. Like, we didn't just win the Super Bowl. We've won the Super Bowl and we're able to process it for 7 full days. Talk our shit to people. And we came to this parade and still found a way to kill each other. How did we get there? What was said? Well, Brendan said it's, they were in the wrong part of Missouri. I guess.
Yeah, it's all I have to say is Kyle Shanahan should be sent immediately to prison because none of this would have happened if he wasn't such a jackass. So he is now responsible for murders,
So
attempted murders. So is Dan Campbell, unfortunately, right to jail.
I'm sorry, Dan. I was in your corner, but kick a field goal, bro. We wouldn't be in this situation right now. Anyway, so, yep, basketball time. There isn't much going on in basketball time. Jaylen Brown sucks at dunking.
I wouldn't say that. I think if you put Mac McClung and Jaylen Brown in an actual NBA game, Jaylen Brown would absolutely fucking body Mac McClung in his tiny little ass.
Ooh.
He would.
So going back onto the subject.
Talk about a guy that's, posterized the likes of LeBron James, Jokic, Giannis. I think he can handle Mac McClung. Whoever the fuck that is.
What a name, McClung.
Yeah, so the NBA All-Star Weekend happened. Like always, everyone is complaining about it because All-Star Game sucks and nothing fun happens in the All-Star Game. They put up like 200 points. This is great
What's
for everyone.
defense?
Yeah, this is the game I like to point to when people are like, "Oh, the NBA they don't play defense." I'm like, "No, this is what happens when you don't play defense. People scored 250 fucking points." So away with that. Um, cool things that happened, I guess. I still like the 3-point contest. It's like the home run derby. You can't really fuck that up. Damian Lillard goes back to back, so good for Dame. That's fun. And then you had the little 3-point shoot off between Steph Curry and whatever that girl's name was, which she did awesome. She scored fucking 26 points against Steph's 29, so she only lost by 3 points to Steph Curry. And 26 points is what Dame scored to win the whole 3-point contest. So good for her. That was pretty cool.
A little surprised Steph didn't take it with what he's been doing in 3 points lately.
Well, no, I'm not surprised about that. He's winding down, Curry.
But hasn't he recently been setting records for the most consistent games for 3-pointers and shit like that?
He's awesome. He's still awesome. The rest of the team is
listen,
not good.
Curry is winding
Whoa.
down, but that doesn't mean Curry's still not superhuman. It's just.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he's currently on this track where he set like a record for like the most consistent, for the most threes in the most games or something like that.
Yeah. So to give you some context to that, because I have a bunch of stats up, so I was like resetting the NBA because this is when everyone starts paying attention to basketball. So we're looking at 3-pointers made so far through the season. Steph leads with 252 threes. Second place is Luka, and Luka has 181.
Jesus.
Like I said, dude, like he's still superhuman.
Yeah, but I think the problem right now in Golden State is there's troubles in the home front though, because apparently I think I saw this thing the other day that like Clay gave Steph the cold shoulder, and like then Clay came out saying he will take less money in a lower role to stay with the team. Or
I saw rumors that Clay might be traded to a certain team.
But that's why.
Well, the trade deadline is
take
passed.
less money in a lower role.
No, I'm talking. This might be next year. This rumor was for next year.
Well, whoever's getting him, good luck because he's fucking washed.
Yeah, apparently there was like some play that like Steve Kerr told him not to foul.
It was Celtics, Heat, and Knicks.
Yeah, I'm good.
That rumor.
I'm good. We have Peyton Pritchard already. I'd rather have Peyton Pritchard than fucking Klay Thompson come off the bench right now.
Luka Doncic was another one that was one of those wild fucking rumors that I don't see happening. Like, sorry, Heat fans, that's not happening.
And you saw the whole 24-hour trying to acquisition Golden State trying to grab LeBron or whatever.
Yeah, what was that all about?
I have no idea because like that doesn't fix anything for anyone. That would be one of the most pointless trades of all time.
Yeah, and like there were two stories that came out of that. Was one that LeBron's agent is the one that fucked that up and kept it from happening, and then the other one was LeBron refused it because Golden State couldn't promise him that they would draft his son or something like that. But those were both like rumored reasonings and stuff. You know, nothing credible there, but that's really all I've ever gotten out of it.
I wouldn't fucking.
LeBron should just stay in LA.
Yeah, dude, like that's the perfect place for people that are old.
LeBron should stay in LA and Steph Curry should stay in Golden State until the day he retires.
No, I think Steph, if anyone should force their way out of a team, Steph should, because Steph is still really good and he can go somewhere and win.
We'll take Steph.
Golden State's got a completely.
That's my problem now with the NBA, though, is like these star players, they don't stay where they are and they move on to somewhere else. You know,
thanks,
instead
LeBron.
of staying with a team to be the magnet to draw in another player.
Yes, it is. It's 100% LeBron's fault. Yes, it is.
Because like I had this conversation.
100% real about it. It's Shaq's fault.
Yeah,
Shaq was on the down.
Because like I don't know, I don't feel like
You got to repeat
There's much
that,
loyalty in
'cause
the NBA anymore.
I said Shaq was on the downturn when he left LA. Fucking LeBron made a whole TV series about taking his talents to South
Yeah,
Beach, and
but
his team hopped
allow.
ever since.
Yeah, but explain Orlando. And they first off, let's talk about since we're on the NBA. What are we doing, Orlando? What are we doing retiring? What did Shaq do to get his jersey retired?
They traded him away. That was Shaq didn't even demand that trade, which is the funniest part. Like they fucking like legit just traded his ass away, and then
I
retired
think
his number.
wasn't it a thing with Stan Van Gundy? No, that was yeah, no, that wasn't it a thing with Stan Van Gundy?
Yeah, I think so.
No. Dwight Howard was the thing with Stan Van Gundy. I'm sorry, Shaq, for getting you confused with Dwight Howard. Please don't come and kill me. Um,
Look, you see, this is something that's always bothered me with the NBA recently, because it's, I don't know, like when I was growing up and I was a little kid, and the first time I ever watched a basketball game, that was during the Jordan era. Kobe was coming in, like, and we watched these star players stay loyal to the teams that they were on, and I don't feel
those
like that
days
loyalty.
are so fucking over, dude. Because
I
of the
understand
way
they're over,
contracts
and that
are.
loyalty doesn't exist anymore, and
Well, it
there
does
were
with
only a
some
few players
players.
I've ever
It's just
seen
not
that.
everyone. I mean, there for
Right.
the James Hardens and fucking Kyrie Irvings of the world that we have, we also still have fucking Luca who hasn't gone anywhere. Steph never went anywhere. Fucking Tatum and Brown, they're not leaving Boston for a
Right.
long time.
You
So
know
it's
when
Because
I
when I look,
some
knew.
players
You
still
know
do.
when I knew team loyalty was dead.
When
When
LeBron took
Dwayne
his talents to South Beach.
when Dwayne Wade put a Chicago Bulls jersey on.
yeah,
That was when I knew it was over.
and that's the
Because
thing.
Dwayne
Because for
Wade
so
was
many
the
years,
last example of Miamian loyalty.
right? Because I was going to say, for so many years, Dwayne Wade was the magnet that drew players to Miami.
He was basketball Dan Marino.
Yeah,
In
because
Miami, he was basketball Dan Marino.
you go back to that first finals that Dwayne Wade was in, and he got Alonzo Mourning to put a jersey back on, and he got Shaquille to put on a Heat jersey. These guys came because they
Well,
wanted to share the
Pat
court.
Riley did that one. Pat Riley got Shaq. That one
Yeah,
wasn't
but
much
you got to
of-
think, like, these
Dwayne
guys
was a
wanted to
part
play
of
with
that.
Wade.
Dwayne was a part of that reasoning. I will say that. Shaq liked Dwayne.
And
That's
then
why he
when you
came.
fast forward, you know, again, Wade was another reason why LeBron came down to Miami. Fucking Bosch decided to jump in, and they created this big three, and they had what they had. And it's the same way that I look at Steph to
Dwayne's the
Golden State.
reason that the big three that everybody hates happens in Miami and not somewhere else.
I mean, I get what you guys are saying, but like, I'm like looking at his fucking whole career right here, and he played like a billion seasons in Miami, played one season in Chicago, and then one season in Cleveland, and
Then
then
came back to Miami.
and then came back to Miami. So it's like he didn't really
Nah, bro.
completely
Now,
fail.
now let me tell you this, because this is the person that he gets compared to when it comes to that conversation. Tell me the other NFL team Dan Marino played for.
Oh, I can't remember. I know he went somewhere else, but he
No,
went there
he
for like
didn't. Dan Marino only played for the
Oh.
Dolphins. He fucking came in a Dolphin and he left the Dolphin. Like,
well, he should have fucking left.
he can't. And the guy that got me on the team loyalty lesson got taught to me a lot earlier in football, when Jason Taylor put on a Jet jersey, and that made me wanna fucking puke.
I don't. I mean, I get it. Why some people get all wrapped up in team loyalty. I personally don't give a fuck. I'm
It's
just
when
saying.
you have the affinity. It's when you have the affinity for the player. It becomes not just so much a team thing. You like this player, and this player happens to also play for your team. You don't want that fact to change, because then there's a chance that player that you love so much becomes a player of a team you fucking hate. Like, Tom Brady could have been a Dolphin, and half of New England would want to have put a gun to their head. Maybe not you. I understand you're a reasonable person. But half of New England would have been like, I can't take this job! You know, like, it's a lot easier of a pill to swallow that he was in a Buccaneer jersey. You know, and that was different. Bills had to deal with Thurman fucking Thomas was like a big thing for the Bills. He was a Dolphin all the way up until he retired when he took that 1-day contract with the Bills to retire over there. He was a fucking... And I know that fucking Buffalo hated that shit. And I know what that felt like later when Jason Taylor did it with the Jets. Because it made me sick.
But you should be mad at the player. Be pissed at the organization because, like,
I am mad at the player.
I was gonna
and
actually
let me
No,
know. Let
don't
me
be
tell
mad at the
you a
player.
story. No, let me tell you a story about that. So
fuck that.
this is why I'm mad at the player. Zach Thomas told this story on 560 or 790 on Channing Crowder's AM fucking radio podcast. And I just so happened to have gotten lucky enough to listen to it. And I was just like, I love this guy even more now. He had a chance when he went to Dallas. New England offered him a significantly bigger bag. And he turned it down and said his reasoning was he couldn't do that to Miami. He couldn't do that, not to Miami, that sounds bad. He couldn't do that to Dolphins fans, was how he worded that. That's loyalty. That's why I'm
fucking
not Jason
stupid.
Taylor, bro.
That's dumb as fuck.
So yes, that's fucking dumb as fuck. Yes, but that's all. Loyalty and intelligence are not always in the same sentence together now.
No, they weren't. So, like, just off personal experience, not that I was ever a pro athlete. I'm not sure if I've ever told this story, like, on the podcast, but so my dad is an ex-pro athlete. My dad was a professional track and field guy. Did qualify for the Olympics, unfortunately got injured, was not able to compete. But so we grew up pretty poor, and then my dad had a good time running, being all fast and shit, and got us some money. I mean, granted, we're not talking NBA, NFL money. This is track and field money. It's a lot different. But the only reason we ever moved to South Florida and lived a better life was because my dad was a Puma athlete for a very, very long time. And he could have had some dumb brand loyalty and said, oh, but the Puma team has done so much for me, and I'll never take 5 times the money with New Balance. No, my dad said, fuck Puma. Fuck Puma directly in the ass. I'm going to sign this contract right now and get a bunch of money. So I'm sorry. Like, I get it that you're like, oh, I could never do that to... Fuck that, bro. I'm trying to get this money.
That was the last bastion of loyalty I care about football. Because after Zach Thomas, everybody cares about the bag after that. Clearly, because Jason Taylor goes right after that. He goes to the Jets. But
you know, you might also too. You might have to put that down.
And also,
on the organizations, because I can also see that too as a player security. You know, like you got to think like maybe if we look back to how quick some of these teams wanted to trade these players off, is the why maybe some of these players are coming in trying to secure that bag, because it's like if they're paying me this bag, that means they're keeping me, and I'm where I want to be. You know, and
to go into
it
that,
could be
you
many
also got to
things.
consider. You also got to consider when we talk about the organization's position, because going back to Zach Thomas would have stayed a Dolphin for a penny if he was given the option. Obviously, if he turned down what he told Channing Crowder was like a significantly bigger bag. These guys would, like he would have paid, or he would have like played for a penny. The organization didn't want him to play for them. Like they needed that spot for Channing Crowder, who eventually takes Zach Thomas's spot in the lineup. And the people that they're bringing in. So you also have to consider the organization's position on this, because I think in Miami, when we talk about Dwayne Wade, it was where we're in cap hell, and Dwayne Wade was trying to do something good for the team while also playing for the city that he came from. So I understand why Dwayne Wade left Miami. I just fucking hated it. Like, yeah, I wish, like, that's why I said team loyalty is a dead idea, because that's not how finances work anymore.
Probably never work. Like, I'm so against any sort of like pro team, let's get the best deal. Like, if my favorite player, these people, these fans of yours, do not give a fuck about you personally whatsoever. They just like that you play football or whatever sport for their fucking team. You have an infinite amount of time, not infinite, you have a finite amount of time to secure however much money you can, because you have no idea what you're going to do after sports, and you might end up fucking broke. So you need to go out and say, fuck, Jerry over here, this fat fuck Jerry sitting on his couch. Oh, well, fucking Tyreek Hill needs to be loyal and restructure his contract. No, Tyreek, you should ask for more money. Tyreek Hill should ask for more money. I'm infinitely fucking pro player getting a bunch of money.
That's
fuck these teams.
To add another layer to that, it's not Tyreek Hill. When we talk about Tyreek Hill and restructuring, that's where the argument isn't placed on his finances. He's already gotten bags. It's placed on, well, how much do you want to not be the little brother of Patrick Mahomes? So that's a different conversation. Who you could put that on is the point that I've been making to a lot of these Dolphin fans people. Tua, thank God that boy has a sports agent, because you could tell he's a gullible motherfucker that could be suckered into one of those team-friendly deals where they give him slave money and fucking try to rework the team around him. Tua, in specific, and his agent should be trying to secure the biggest fucking bag. It would be irresponsible as a sport agent to not try to do that. You should revoke your fucking license and stop practice if you are not trying to get Tua a fucking bag that is as big as possible. Fucking market changing, and here's why. And I'm not talking to you as a Dolphin fan, because this is completely against team interest. But if you're talking about Tua the player and the job of his agent, you're looking at his body of work. He came into the league with catastrophic fucking injuries that would have normal human beings not thinking about fucking football. He came into the league fucking broken. And then he spent a year healing, a half a year healing, and then got put in arguably too early at the back end of fucking season that was basically already a wash. And then he spent the next fucking year playing in a rotational system where he kept getting subbed out of big game moments instead of playing through them, which, by the way, if we want to talk about Tua's inability to fucking close in big game moments now, we'll talk about this fucking year on how that develops into a problem. Because they pulled him out of every big problem that he was faced this whole fucking year when they put Ryan Fitzpatrick in his place to basically close the game like he was a closing pitcher. So he spent a year basically on and off the starting fucking rotation. Then his third year, he gets a whole fucking starting season and takes like 3 fucking concussions back to back to back to back. Right? And then he sits the rest of the fucking year because they're scared about his health. Now this year, this 4th year, the year that we decide his 5th year option or a big fucking contract, this 4th year, he plays against everybody's expectations an entire 18-week season, 17 fucking games, including a bye. He plays without injury, leading the passing charts, passing fucking leader. There is no fucking way you are this fucking agent and not pounce on this opportunity after he's finally given you something to argue with on this fucking table. There's no way you're not a sports agent and not trying to get over $60 million a year. There's no fucking way. You would be a fucking failure at your job if you're not trying to get this kid his bag. And that's why loyalty can't exist. Because these things happen all the time. It's not just Tua. It happens to everybody. That's why loyalty can't exist anymore. Because if loyalty existed, these players like Tua would be fucked. Tua would take a small fucking bag, play 2 fucking good years, and get absolutely annihilated by Mason Crosby and never see the light of day again. And have nothing to fucking show for it. At least now, if that happens, he can set his family up for life. That's why I'm with Brendan on this. I'm totally for the player. Is it against team interest? Yeah, fuck yeah. $60 million a year for Tua is fucking expensive. But when you think about his story and his sporting agent and how things work and how finances work and what people's jobs are, it makes sense that Tua is probably going to get a record, or not a record, a market-setting contract. Like, it makes sense. So I'm sorry, Dolphin fans, but yeah, it's probably going to fucking happen.
Oh, yeah, because all these Miami fans are all like, oh, well, he's going to get a $20 million a year deal. No, the fuck he is. So you're telling me that he's going to get a lesser contract than Daniel Jones? No way.
No way.
Dude, they're looking at least.
I thought he was going to get 40 to 50, but
that's what I'm thinking. He's going to get like 40 to 50.
Also, Dak Prescott.
Well, he's going to be getting like 60.
He's aiming for 60, which Tua's going to argue, well, I was better than Dak Prescott.
You know, I totally love the fact that the last 20 minutes we went from talking about NBA and an NBA loyalty to turn into NFL loyalty to Monkeys Dolphins loyalty rant, now to comparing quarterbacks.
Hey, bro,
we will never be more than a football podcast. We can't talk about NBA. We drifted to NFL so quick.
We are in the last hour. We're in the last hour of the podcast, and the NBA is on the All-Star week.
That whole 20-minute segment had ADHD written all over it.
That's what's great about this third hour. That's why, listen, I know you weren't
in the middle of your rant. I'm like, we were talking about basketball. How did we get here?
Because that's the beauty of this podcast. I know you weren't involved in the meeting prior, which I got to refill you on, but this third hour of the podcast.
Which meeting prior? Are you talking about Saturday? I was there, buddy.
Oh, you were? Okay, so yeah, this third hour of the podcast,
yeah,
you were there.
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying. I just had to point out that comment. It was so amusing.
Totally crazy.
I needed you to laugh with me, and you failed me, so whatever.
Listen. We're trying.
There's not much going on, man. Fucking, there was like
it's
2 games before the All-Star break that all sucked. There's no NBA games till Thursday. NBA All-Star Weekend sucked. There's like 8 good teams in the NBA right now.
Yeah, so, hey, what did you want to talk about, by the way, on that one?
I was just going to go over the fucking standings and where where I see shit going, because the NBA is weird because there's a lot of, I wouldn't say frauds, but NBA basketball between the playoffs and the regular season are two completely different fucking games. And there's a lot of teams that will have a lot of regular season wins and then will get absolutely fucking clapped in the playoffs. Looking at you, Milwaukee. Just like you did last year. Because most of the NBA season you play one-off games or two-game series, and you don't really prepare that much. You just kind of do your thing. And then once you have to play a series of people actually pay attention to what you do. So looking over at the West first, number one seed right now is currently the Timberwolves, and they have 39 wins so far in the year. The last 10 games, they're 7-3. This is one of those teams I'm talking about. I don't believe the Timberwolves can really win a title this year. They have great offense. Their defense is suspect. Same with the Thunder, for different reasons. The Thunder are the 2 seed with 37 wins, but they're very, very young. Young teams don't do well in the playoffs. They just don't have the experience.
Yeah, but Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that's one player.
And don't they have KAT, dude?
They do.
I like that Anthony Edwards guy. I've been watching. I've been watching him. Like mainly in highlights, but he's fucking. That boy's good.
They are, but I'm just like looking at it big picture when you look at like the team like the 3 seed, the Clippers with 36 wins. You compare those lineups, and the Clippers are infinitely more stacked, and they have a lot of experience on that team. Talking about fucking Harden, who's been around for forever, Kawhi, who's won a championship, and a whole host of role players. And then you also have Denver, they're literally the same team as they were last year, lineup and their record going into the All-Star break.
That's the team that I think is honestly going to go back.
Or the Suns. The Suns are very good, and we still haven't seen them at full strength yet. And they have fucking Kevin Durant, dude. Like, that's what the shit comes down to in the playoffs.
That's the one that I worry about, though, is because Kevin Durant's got this bad juju when it comes to that. When it gets to that time of the fucking season, he breaks down. His body.
Sometimes. But that can always. It just takes 1 year, dude. Because I mean, you've seen the opposite with that with Kawhi. I mean, he's been that guy too, where he's broken down a lot, but he had 1 year where he didn't, and he fucking went all the way to the NBA Finals and fucking won it. Because
Devin Booker's do.
Yeah, exactly. And because the thing is with playing in the playoffs is that you're going to get to a point where there's going to be 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and you're going to give it to your best player, and it's basically just ISO ball. And there's no one better in the league than you can put maybe 1 or 2 people above Kevin Durant when it comes down to I got 5 seconds and need a shot. That's tough to play against.
Yeah, it is. Where do we see LA? Well, not LA. Where do we see the Lakers?
Doing fucking nothing. Nothing. They're doing jack shit. They're the 9 seed right now in the West, and they have 30 wins. They're a 500 team.
Jesus Christ. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Sorry, LeBron. Jesus, fuck. You would think they would be in the mix by now.
Yeah, you'd think, but it's just they have a lot of good players that play fucking lazy basketball. It is what it is. Like you look at the stat sheet and like, oh, they had good points and stuff, but like no one's willing to play defense or box out or do the shit that matters. So
it feels like that too, because it feels like LA when they play. And I haven't seen a lot of LA games this season, but I've seen a couple. But it feels like when LA plays, they're just waiting for LeBron and AD to go off.
Like
they're which how much of that is designed? How much of that is
It's
LeBron
just
practice?
That's how that team's built. They have a bunch of young guys, and then LeBron and AD.
Terrible. Not winning basketball. Let's talk about a fucking conference that matters, dude.
Yeah, let's do it.
We already know the West is going to the Nuggets.
Um,
Well, that's not true. We can't say that because you're right about the Suns. The Suns exist.
I look at
And
my
they're
favorite
so
three
fucking
teams are
good.
the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Suns. The three teams I'm really looking at from the West. Then honorable mention of the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Clippers are around. I just feel like the Clippers. Well, you know what? Doc Rivers ain't there no more. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
but they've got Russell Westbrook, and that bothers me. I feel like he's like the Kadarius Toney of basketball.
He kind of is, but like they're kind of doing him like they did Kadarius. He's not like a big part of that team. He's a bench player.
All right, let's talk about
It looks like it's bouncing more around between. It looks like it bounced more around between Kawhi and Paul George, and
Yeah, it's and Harden.
That team is, bro. That team. First off, that team
They're
is
stacked.
fucking stacked.
Which I mean, look, I'm happy about it because I'm happy to see Paul George shine again. You know, like after his compound fracture, he kind of wobbled for a while. And I was a big fan of that guy before that.
I'm trying to get the whole fucker because I know they have Harden. I know they got West.
And I've always been a fan of Kawhi Leonard.
Like this team, you know when this team would have been really fucking fire?
Oh, like 5 years ago.
20, yeah, like 20 fucking 15, 16. This would have been like the team, bro. But they got Kawhi, James, Russell, which I find hilariously that their jersey numbers are 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah, James Harden. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I look at
to worry about playing defense.
When I look at teams
Paul
like
George, PJ Tucker, which PJ, interestingly enough, PJ Tucker's trying to get out of Philly, from what I'm hearing, or not Philly.
Yeah, he was fined for publicly demanding a trade.
So PJ Tucker at Miami, ooh, get some defense back. Come on, make it happen, Pat. Although you know you can't make it happen this year, but make it happen, Pat. He's got enough tread on the tire to last one more run. Anyway,
yeah, the Clippers are fun. You'll notice with a lot of the teams that I like, they have 3 really, really good players, because when you come down to the playoff runs here, like when you only have that one guy, you just run doubles at him, and then you force a shot to someone who's not good at taking shots, and then it doesn't end up well. Going to the East, the top seed of the East and the NBA, the Celtics, 43 wins. Their last 10 going to the All-Star break, they were 8-2. Obviously biased when it comes to this team, but they are the best team in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean they are right now, yeah. And they're scary this year. I can't lie. I hate Boston, by the way. I'm biased as fuck too. But, you know, 43 wins already. That's nothing to fucking ignore, dude. That's pretty impressive right now.
Well, they solved their problems. Because previously, when you would guard the Celtics, is you would pretty much just put all your attention onto Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and then you would get stuck with fucking having Marcus Smart or Al Horford chuck threes, which isn't good. But now you do that same tactic, which teams are still trying to do because they still don't know what to do with it. You end up having to deal with shots from Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis and Derek White, which are like all way different and actually can shoot the ball. So it's just good luck defending them. The only thing I see really fucking them up is like Porzingis' injury history is not good. But as long as it's not like a catastrophic out for the year injury, they've shown they can still win without him at this point.
That ugly motherfucker Derek White, as long as he's standing.
Yeah, he's He should be NBA All Defense. He really should be. And people look at like his 3-point shooting and shit,
That
but it's
guy's
his
fucking
defense.
annoying, bro.
Yeah, bald ass Derek White.
He's fucking annoying, bro. Like I can't stand him. I hate Boston. I am not a Boston person. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like fucking
the Red Sox.
The Celtics. I don't even like the Red Sox in the way like the Red Sox are basically the fucking Northern Marlins. That's the way I feel. Like your fucking World Series was given to you. We gave it to you. Like,
Okay, so explain the other 3 that happened in the last fucking 15 years. Now that you explained that one.
We gave you some people for that, but I'm talking about the record curse. I stopped watching baseball after that.
Oh, okay. So this is a dumb opinion.
To be honest with you, I stopped watching baseball long before that. I was just
clearly.
Baseball's one of those sports. It's more entertaining to be at the game than watch the game.
You know what? It has nothing to do with that. It's you're asking a Marlin fan. So let me tell you, a Marlin fan. I have trust issues with baseball because every time my team does good, all of those players are gone just for no reason.
Yeah. Yep.
We win a World Series, all those fucks are gone. 2003, we win another World Series, beat the fucking Yankees. All of those players are gone, and we give the fucking best ones to Boston so that they can win their first World Series in 17,000 fucking years, which starts off the whole Boston run. Which, how long did you have Beckett for? Because I think he was involved in another one of those World Series.
Yeah, he was. He played in 2 of them.
Yeah, so I mean, you're welcome.
Well, I'm on the other side
Josh
of the fence.
Beckett.
I'm with you, Monkey, on that one. I grew up a Marlins fan because I'm, being here in South Florida, that was the sport that I always got taken to. I always went to the Marlins games.
Dude, when I have the I don't have the baseball. My dad has the baseball set.
Getting to say I've watched Jeff Conine pitch a ball is fucking legendary.
My dad has, and it's one of these prized fucking possessions. He's got the inaugural set of the Miami Dolphins, the Florida Marlins starting fucking lineup on baseballs. Just different baseballs. And he's got the little bat. He's got a picture of me on inaugural day holding the bat, taking a fucking stupid photo picture that looks like a baseball card. Like, we were super marks for baseball when Marlins first came out. Because, like, it was another reason to go to the stadium, and we went all the time. We were Dolphins season ticket holders. Like, that was a family thing forever. So, imagine being that into a team. They finally get to a World Series, and then all of those players on those baseballs are gone.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Wayne Huizenga. I hope you're burning in hell right now. Like, there was no reason to do that shit because you gave up on baseball. Fuck you. Sell it to another a fucking person that does care. I can't stand Wayne Huizenga for so many reasons. We would have had Dan Marino for like 5 more years if it wasn't for that fuck.
Well, it sounds like you should hate this Huizenga guy and not the Red Sox. Sounds like he is the problem here.
I don't like I said, I don't the Boston super hatred doesn't really extend for the Red Sox because I feel like they're just the Northern Marlins. Like, I rooted for you guys because I love Josh Beckett. But I fucking hate the Celtics, like, with passion. Fuck the Celtics. Can't stand the Patriots.
Was it the Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo era that made you hate them?
No, well, it's not a hatred that because I like think that they're better. Like, it's a hatred that they talk shit and don't know how to fucking.
Well, yeah, because now you know they're better.
Whoa, wow! Finally, you get 1 year out of the 70,000 that we've been sunning you.
You better go knock on wood because that 1 year can turn into 10.
Yeah, not with Jimmy Butler breathing air.
I like how when Heat fans talk about this, they just completely refuse to revisit Game 7. Jimmy completely bricking and shitting himself in the clutch in Game 7.
He's
Yep.
totally, you know what? He's totally forgiven for that.
Uh-huh.
We shouldn't have been in that Game 7 to fucking begin with. Like, so, Jimmy.
Yeah, you're right. Your ass shouldn't have been there.
Jimmy is. You're right. Jimmy is fucking Michael Jordan Jr., dude.
Well, unfortunately, we have to go back
games.
to talking about the teams that matter. So we're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are now the 2 seed in the NBA, unlike the Heat, who won't appear in this conversation.
Football season's over. The Heat are gonna come into this conversation, and you're gonna fucking hate it.
Oh yeah, well, if we want to do that, because I had a feeling you would go ahead and say that. Let's just examine the Miami Heat real quick. Let me pull up their record. I had something interesting I'd found about their record lately. They got past their whatever it was 20,000 game losing streak that they were on, and they won some games. So I want to take a look at the games that they happen to win and the quality of these teams.
Oh God, we're not gonna do this again.
They have beaten.
Wow, this sounds familiar.
They got their ass whooped by the Clippers. They beat the Spurs, who have like 2 wins. They beat the Magic, who are like an 8 seed. They beat the Kings, who are like a 10 seed. Got their ass beat by the Knicks. Ass whooped by the Celtics. The Grizzlies somehow beat the Heat, who all their players are on IR right now. That's interesting. And they beat the Wizards, who are currently tanking.
I think Jimmy B needs to worry less about his haircut and more about the gameplay with those.
What are you trying to insinuate? What are you trying to say there, buddy?
It sounds like we're about to have a .500 conversation all over again.
What I'm saying is that something
be the team over .500.
Yes, so that's basically what I'm saying. And then people say, "Oh, well, what about the game against the Bucks they just played or the 76ers?" Okay, the 76ers who employed a G League roster to that game, and then followed by the Bucks who have Doc Rivers as a head coach.
I was so happy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so happy that we beat the 76ers, and I was like on the chat like, "Damn, that was such a great game." Yeah, too bad Joel Embiid didn't play it. And I was like, wait. I don't remember seeing Joel Embiid play. Joel Embiid was out. Has been out for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh. No. I can't even be happy about this. What the fuck?
But I am happy about the Bucks because I hate the Bucks way more than I hate the Heat. So watching them like just completely fucking collapse right now is my favorite thing in the NBA.
We're gonna be in the playoff conversation whether you like that one or not because there's too many things in the East that are gonna happen. Like the Bucks are gonna die. You know the Cavs are not gonna be the 2 seed by the time the playoffs come.
I think they'll be either the 3 or 4 seed.
No. You know who's gonna be the problem? And I hate to say
the Knicks.
Fucking Knicks.
They don't worry me as much as Cleveland does. They really don't. And it's because of the rosters. Brunson, they got one player.
But he's a player, dude.
Yeah, but like, okay, God, what's that dude's name who's the coach for the Knicks? He was with the Bucks for a long time, and his teams always do this, is they will rattle off a bunch of regular season games, but then in the playoffs, they are not good. Every one of his teams does this. God, I can't remember his
fucking name. Well, I know the Knicks do that because we're usually the fucking team that eliminates them. So.
Yeah.
Fuck the Knicks.
So they're the 2 seed. They've been on a dumb streak right now. They went 9-1 into the All-Star break. Donovan Mitchell is awesome. Yeah. They'll be in the
Too
playoffs
bad we
this
didn't
year.
trade for that guy.
Yeah, right. Fuck. The Bucks, as much as like I love shitting on them, they're in a bad streak right now. So they're a 35-win team, which is still really good, but they've gone 3-7 in their last 10 games. As much as I'd love to be like, yeah, book it, they're fucked. I'm not gonna do that just yet, just because of who they have on their team. Let's not jinx ourselves here. It's still fucking Giannis and Damian Lillard. That's tough. I'm not sure what's
It's
going on
Doc
with them.
Rivers.
But this was happening before Doc.
Still,
Because
it doesn't
yeah,
help.
it doesn't, but
Like, I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I think I've said it on this podcast before. If Doc Rivers fucks this team up, and this team chokes, he should never be allowed again to ever coach a fucking basketball team, because how on earth can you fuck up Giannis and Dame? That is insane. That's, first off, I was so fucking mad that Dame went there. Like, we did not need that in the East. None of us. The Celtics didn't need that. The Heat didn't need that. The Knicks didn't need that. It was like the worst thing that could happen to us was that they get Dame. And then they follow that up by mid-season picking up Doc Rivers.
I mean, I like how it worked out because they had to get rid of Drew Holiday in the process, and he ended up a Celtic. So I was a big fan of how this all shaped out.
Yeah. At least you get Drew Holiday in that. But still, that's like, that should have been the finals. Like, we were ready to almost, not you maybe, because the Celtics are pretty badass right now, but everybody else is ready to give them the chip. The moment he went over there, now Doc Rivers is there, dude. If they fuck this up, oh man,
They're gonna fuck this up. So that's what I feel about the Knicks too. They're a good regular season team. They're not deep. They have Brunson, a couple of pieces, but I just don't see it. Same with, and it sucks for Philly. They're punting. They're the 5 seed right now with 32 wins, but they're fucked. They're also 3-7 in their last 10 games, but for actually legitimate reasons because they don't have players. So
God,
that's
we have the same record as the Magic. That's not good.
No, you're cruising around Lakersville.
I'm gonna get hopping out of here, so.
Well, we're getting ready to fucking close out.
All right. I'll wait.
Close out. I think that's. We covered WWE.
Yeah, we pretty much covered everything. There's not shit going on in the NBA.
We covered fucking the UFC. Got some knockouts in. We covered fucking the little bit of NFL news that we had. Now we got the NBA. We had a fucking full ass podcast. So I'm not mad about it. But before we do go, I do want to make a mention on this podcast. We've got all of our socials working, as you can see from, I'm guessing, the other outlets of streams. So we got all of our other socials working. Got fucking Tigger working. We're working slowly on the presentation of the podcast. So that's in a work in progress. You're going to see during the off season a few things change. But we are also going to be starting another podcast that we have not named yet because we have no fucking idea what we're going to name it. But we do know that we're going to start it on March 10th. It is going to be reviewing retro football games. We're going to go back in time and take a deep dive on football games that were interesting to us, maybe to y'all. So that's something to look forward to. We'll start that on March 10th. That'll be on Sundays. That'll be like an off-season thing while we're not talking about football. We're gonna still talk about football, and then we'll still have our Tuesday broadcast for everything else sports related. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. Any final thoughts on anything going before we head out of here?
Not so much.
We'll have a tiny bit of NFL news next week. The franchise tag window opened today, so we'll have a couple little football things to talk about next week.
Oh, yay. All right, so that's a successful broadcast. We almost went 3 hours. It's great. We're doing good. Fucking can't complain. But this is good to end the year. So we'll see you guys next week, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Same
Yes,
bat
sir.
time, same bat channel. All right, y'all. Later.
Catch you later.
Peace.